Hello everyone, I have some things to say about the game you see in the background. You know, City Skylines 2? Okay, so, number one, this is a early review of the game, you could say. And as such, it is very early on in the game for me. Now, with it being early on in the game for me, I have some choice words to say. This is probably one of the most worst and lowest levels of optimization I've ever seen in a video game I have played in a great while. Now, how bad is the optimization? Well, as you can see in the background, I'm not even holding 30 frames a second. And I realize I am not running the best hardware in the world. That I'm running far from the best hardware in the world. I'm running pretty low to mid tier specs, but I should not be getting 15 frames a second in this game. And again, my city is fairly large. It's sitting around 17K in the footage right here. That's a pretty decently large city, and as you can see in the wide spanning shots, there is a lot going on. I get it. There is a lot going on. But there should not be this much lag going on in this game. There just shouldn't be. It's unacceptable, and I quite frankly am just sad. Because the first game is one of my most favorite play games of all time. Now, there are a few key points that I want to go over in this video. One, is it better than City Skylines 1? Not right now, but it will be if they can fix the following issues I will talk about in this video. Issue number one, the performance. Now, with that being said, yes, I spoke about how bad the performance is. And it can be very bad and very rough at times. But even if the performance is bad and rough, that is an acceptable excuse for the game. If your game is good, performance will matter, which is kind of how this game is. So the game is pretty good. You know, I have about 19 or 19, 20-ish hours in the game since its release on October 31st. I'm currently recording it on November 10th. I have about 19 hours in the span of 11-ish days. So I have a decent amount of playtime in the game considering I have other things to do, and I record and upload 3 videos a week. So I've not had much time to do regular gaming. Okay, so issue number one I had. Performance, I won't talk about it. Everyone's talked about it. This game has horrible performance. Even the developers have acknowledged it, so I'll leave it that as that. Issue number two. No one's talking about it, but why do none of my businesses get, shoppers? You know that issue where your businesses just don't have shoppers? Yeah, that's my second issue with this game. Why is it that I have a population of 17,000, but most of my businesses are struggling with population? By population, I mean store population, as in they don't get enough business to suffice being around. Which leads to an issue where all the businesses close, but my city has other issues. I have too much employment. I know that you think that would be a bad thing. You think it wouldn't be a bad thing, but it is. I have too much employment, which leads to an issue where if you open any new businesses, your city will literally be unable to employ them. As you can see just right now, that has sits workers, and you can see here, these businesses are not fully utilized, which means that not enough resources are being prompted, which means that my production I had to bring in from other places, and it leads to other issues. So, another issue I've ran into is traffic. Now, is traffic as bad as City Skylines 1? No, 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 no. Nothing as bad as City Skylines 1 traffic, okay? If you told me this was worse than City Skylines 1 traffic, you are doing your city horribly wrong. Now, with that being said, is the traffic perfect? In a rush hour is perfectly normal kind of sense, quite good. Because rush hour in this game is very realistic, painfully realistic to a fault, and that's cool because it's a city simulation game. You want things to be realistic. But I have ran into some very weird bugs when placing down roads. One of the biggest bugs, is where it goes on the land. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, whenever I place a road down, it naturally changes land. But that runs into an issue where the land change messes things up greatly. And by greatly, I mean greatly. So, how to fix that? It seems to be a zoning thing with how the land is treated with bringing things together. I don't know how to fix it. So I'm not a game developer. This is just my own personal review of the game at 19 hours in. But there are other things that are more niche issues. Why is there no pedestrian bike zones? Why are there no bikes? Just thought I would point that out. There's no bikes in the game. Why? 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 However, if that gets fixed, amazing, perfect. I would love that to get fixed because bikes are cool and I love to zone things. And as you saw right there, my employment is too high, as I mentioned earlier. So, with that being said, another issue I've had with the game is the early game is insanely hard for no reason. Like this is my second city. My first city I can't play because it's literally bankrupt. It has gone bankrupt despite playing the game how I would play the first game. So something has changed between the first and second game, which led to my city going bankrupt. So I did design things brand new for this game, which in fairness led to my cities looking way better. So I guess that's a win. Maybe it's a win, maybe it's a loss, depending on who you ask. But as you can see, these buildings don't stay around for long in my city, and I've had to destroy them, so I just convert them to low density because that's the only thing my citizens want. But that's another issue with this game. The lack of want for medium or high density residential. And as you can see here, my city is 90% low density. Actually, I'd wager more close to 99% low density, as that's all my citizens want. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why, but that's all they want, so I just keep building it. In fact, right here, I built a mega block of low density. And they still want more low density. So I just keep running into this issue of wanting more and more low density, where my entire plot is just gonna be low density. And I'm not gonna be able to hit 100k population. But I digress. This is a review, and as a review of this game, what are my thoughts? Well, as I said in the intro, this will be a good game. It will be amazing. It just needs time. And unfortunately, the developers haven't even acknowledged how bad the performance is. And I hope they do a lot more to fix the game, like adding things that were in the first game, like pedestrian lanes, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Maybe even add, the stock market, you know, the stock market that was added to the first game. Like, that would be a great thing to add, considering how much is in depth in this game compared to the first game. I'd imagine it would be amazing, considering we have proper road services now. But, as I was saying, this game is great, with an asterisk. If you love the first game, you'll love this game. And as someone who could not afford DLC in the first game, this is amazing for me because a lot of the DLC from the first game is in this game, just by default. And considering I got this with Game Pass, it's an amazing game right now. But for those who paid full price, I can see why they are very, very dissatisfied. So, with that, I will be leaving you off with a traffic time lapse of the biggest intersection in my city, the entrance and the leaving part of my city. So, with that, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Bye!